Well, hello, YouTube. Hello, my brothers and sisters in Christ. For those of you that aren't Christians, welcome also, most definitely. Everybody's welcome here. Um, the video that I'm doing right now was not one that I was planning on doing. Uh, I was actually working on a different video when, I don't know, I work second shift, so many of you know that. And um, on my phone, I'm subscribed to, there's several different channels that I'm subscribed to. And whenever they put a video out, I get alerted that they got a video out. So I got home from work tonight and I was going through a couple of them and I got to one and I'm watching it and I'm just banging head on desk hard. BHODH. Um, for a long time I followed this channel. This channel, Soldier of God, they did a lot of good work pointing out prophecy, pointing out current events that are happening that fit prophecy. But since the Trump election, their whole deal that they've been putting out is all been way slanted to this Trump is the savior of the U.S. persona. And no matter what happens, they never look at things objectively. They automatically go to slamming the liberal, slamming the independent, and going with the conservative. I understand the political view, but they're not looking at things objectively anymore. And that's getting really frustrating. So tonight, I started watching this video that Soldier of God put out. And I went, need to stop right here, right now. And I came in to put this together. People, you have to understand the media for which you get your news from, whether it be newspapers, magazines, television, internet, it's owned by 6 corporations, which when you bleed them down and follow the trail, it gets even smaller than that. They're putting out what they want you to see, what they want you to talk about, what they want your attention span to be on, so that you're not looking at what else is happening. So I'm going to put in the virtual time machine and we're going to go back to the election. Actually, we're going to go back a little further than that. And I'm going to show you some things. And then I'm going to show you some other things. And then I'm going to show you some other things. And then we're going to get back to right where we're at right now. So give me a second and we'll start this right now. 3, 2, 1, and.
Hillary Clinton, I think, is a terrific woman. I mean, I'm a little biased because I've known her for years. I live in New York. She lives in New York. And I've known her and her husband for years. And I really like them both a lot. And I think she really works hard. And I think she's given an agenda that's not all of her, but I think she really works hard, and I think she does a good job. First of all, I know her very well, and I know her husband very well, and I like them both, and they are, just really terrific people. Hillary's a great friend of mine. Her husband is a great friend of mine. They're fantastic people. I mean, the thing, they get a bad knock. She's a very nice woman. People think tough, and I guess she's tough, but she's a very nice woman, and he's a very nice guy. We know all about the smarts and how smart they are, but they are good people.
So here we are before the election, Donald Trump praising these people. He is just adoring Hillary and Bill Clinton. He's saying what he's saying. He's like, they're very nice people. They're hard, but they're just nice people. And they're doing what they can to help this nation. So let's move to the next clip. Now, many of you have seen this picture. There's the Donald, and there's Hillary, and there's Bill, and there's Melania, and they all got, and you can tell, forget this, look at this, the eyes, because a smile is not located in the mouth. A smile is always located in the eyes. And look at these eyes. Do you see that? This is a legitimate picture. They're all having a good time. This was the friendship that they've had for years and years and years. And this is why Bill and Hillary were invited to their wedding. So, they're all good and great friends. And then we get to the election. And somehow, out of outstanding, unbelievable odds, Donald Trump becomes the Republican nominee, which, for those of you that do know, younger generation, you probably don't know this, but Donald Trump throughout his life has been a liberal Democrat, but he also stated that he would run in any party that he thought he could get elected in. And we're talking back in the 80s when he was already talking about running for president. It does go that far back. So, now that you've seen this, let's go to the next part. And this is after he's been named the Republican nominee, she's been named the Democratic nominee, and they're in the debates. And we'll go to there.
I think the one that you should really be apologizing for, and the thing that you should be apologizing for, are the 33,000 emails.
Okay, I need to insert something real quick. How many emails got deleted? 33,000 emails. This number 33 has been coming up unbelievably. The number is phenomenal. How 33 is coming up and I can't explain this. I cannot. I'm praying for the answer to why I keep being shown this, but this number is coming up in my life. 33. Absolutely everywhere. And I don't mean that like I'm looking at the clock or subconsciously I'm, for example, tonight at work, while I'm working, on my phone, I have the audio Bible being played. So the phone's in my pocket. I got the earbuds in, and I'm listening to the Bible, and it's going through Exodus. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it stops. Right at the end of a chapter, it stops. So I looked at the clock, and it's 3:33 in the afternoon. I pull out the phone, I open it up, and it's in chapter 33. And then later on in the night, I had finished the job on my machine. I get the next job over. I'm setting up the machine. The job's for 130 parts. As I'm starting to run and I'm running the machine. I got the first part proved out and we're going on. And I'm like looking at the count, that what I'm seeing in the counter on my machine. I set up, program, and run a CNC lathe, a Mazak lathe. So for those of you that are machinists, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm like, I start counting the parts, and the number's off. Well, the guy that runs the saw, that cuts the parts, he cut too many. How many did he cut? 133. This isn't something that I subconsciously, in my mind, am looking at a clock or looking for that number and it's coming up. This number just keeps coming up. And here we are. We go back to this presidential debate. And of course, the deleted emails is 33,000. Now, I needed to throw that in, but this is not what this video is about. But I wanted to point this out to y'all, that you need to wake up. Things are happening. And I honestly, personally believe that God is pointing things out to those of us that are watching on the wall, that are believers and followers in Him, that are proclaiming Him to the world. And we're seeing this, and we're seeing this, and we're seeing this. And there's a reason. I keep praying, asking, why do you keep showing me this number? I don't know right now. But once and again, here we are. 33,000, not 32,000, not 34,000, not 32,850. It's 33,000. Well, let's go on.
That you deleted and that you acid washed. But if I win, I am going to instruct my Attorney General to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation, because there has never been so many lies, so much deception. You get a subpoena, and after getting the subpoena, you delete 33,000 emails. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Secretary Clinton, because everything he just said is absolutely false, but I'm not surprised. Really? In the first debate,
the audience needs to calm down here.
Last time at the first debate, we had millions of people fact-checking, so I expect we'll have millions more fact-checking, because it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah. Because you'd be in jail. Yeah. Because you'd be in jail. Yeah. Because you'd be in jail. Yeah. Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
Now, while these debates are going on and this big uproar about Hillary Clinton and her emails, and Donald Trump is talking about putting together this whole investigative crew to put her in jail. They've got the whole world fascinated on looking down on Hillary, looking on these emails. But what you're not looking, and this is what they wanted to do, you weren't looking at what was going on in the world as they were setting all the little pieces in place for the New World Order. Because no one was paying attention to what Obama was doing with our military, with our personnel, with our ships, with our Air Force, everything. How everything was being put in place, what agreements were being made, what nations would be put in play, and where and when and how and why. Nothing was being looked at or talked at. Everybody was so fascinated on this criminal Hillary Clinton. Now, I'm not saying she's a good woman. Trust me. I'm not saying she was like this great person. In no way, shape, or form. But the world's a stage. And these are the actors that are playing out in front of you while they direct what you look at, what you perceive, so they can lead to how you think. Let's go to the next part.
Hillary Clinton's corruption is on a scale we have never seen before. We must not let her take her criminal scheme into the Oval Office. I have great respect for the fact that the FBI and the Department of Justice are now willing to have the courage to right the horrible mistake that they made.
Now that was 11 days before the election. And while everybody was transfixed on Hillary Clinton's criminal activities, the Clinton Foundation, and all of their fraudulent activities, nobody was paying attention to the fact that the U.S. was moving massive artillery, massive tanks, massive personnel along the Russian border, along the Ukrainian border. They were building up forces. We were steaming in naval ships into the South China Sea, and everything that's going on with North Korea right now was already being put in play. We were already pushing forces, increasing our forces in North Korea. All this was going on. The support with Saudi Arabia and the war in Yemen, we were already bolstering our help to Saudi Arabia. We were already facing off with Iran. I mean, all this was going on, but nobody was paying attention because, they were so transfixed on Hillary Clinton. They were transfixed on the wall that's going to be built. Trump was going to build this wall so that the Mexicans couldn't illegally immigrate. Well, we all know that fell through the floor. Excuse me, along with many other things. But now, so Trump gets, he gets elected. I'm sorry. The word is elected officially, but selected was the word that is actual to what actually happened. He was selected, and all this stuff that you've been seeing on the TV, the media, which is owned by a very few select people, guided you so that when you went to the polls and you pushed the button, you thought your vote counted because it turned out the way they wanted it to turn out in the first place. But they just wanted to mold your mind to such a point that you thought that your vote counted. Well, do your research. I mean, literally, I'm not joking. Do your research. It didn't. He was pre-selected. All this went down. Now we get to the point to where he's now the president. And let's take a look at what he has to say.
Hillary has worked very long and very hard over a long period of time, and we owe her a major debt of gratitude for her service to our country. I mean that very sincerely.
I went too far, I made a mistake, and I was wrong. In an apology video posted on Twitter, Kathy Griffin is begging for forgiveness after images of her holding the severed head of President Trump surfaced on social media on Tuesday.
The image is too disturbing. I understand how it offends people. It wasn't funny. I get it.
It all started when celebrity photographer Tyler Shield released.
Okay, people, I want you to pay attention to something real quick. I mean, look closely at what you're looking at. This is a comedian. She's a liberal. We all know that. But I want you to look at this. Look at her face. Okay? There is a dead blank star. Sorry, quick edit. A dead blank stare, not star, stare. There's no comedy in what she's doing. I'm not saying I approve of this, by no means, but I need to point something out to you. If you haven't done the research, when these people get into the entertainment industry and they get into the big bucks, they need to make deals with, as the vigilant Christian always calls it, Hollywood, not Hollywood. I agree with him on that. And they got to make agreements, and they got to say, okay, cool. Now, when these people say, you will do this, they have no choice. She knew the devastation that's going to happen to her career when she does this. But she has no choice. She was told to do this. So she does this. Then we get the apologies and all that. And you're like, what's the big deal? What's this all about? Well, I wanted to show you just in this what just look at her face. And of course they blurred out the Trump decapitation, but look at her. Ah, man, you're gonna see. We're gonna talk about this in a bit, but I needed you to look at this and look at this close. She's standing there, just a dead stare. No emotion, no anger, no frustration, no happy, no sad, no disappointed, nothing, just a dead stare.
This video from their photo shoot of Griffin blankly staring up at the camera and slowly lifting up what resembles the head of Donald Trump for all to see. During the photo shoot, the comedian was unapologetic.
Tyler and I are not afraid to do images that make noise.
Griffin seemed to know she was stirring the pot. Here she is after the shoot.
We have to move to Mexico today because we're going to get federal prison.
The president responded to the controversy this morning in a tweet saying Kathy Griffin should be ashamed of herself. My children, especially my 11-year-old son Barron, are having a hard time with this. Sick. Bipartisan backlash over the photos was fierce and swift yesterday. Chelsea Clinton tweeted, "This is vile and wrong. It is never funny to joke about killing a president." CNN anchor Anderson Cooper, who has worked with Griffin multiple times, wrote, "For the record, I am appalled by the photo shoot Kathy Griffin took part in. It is clearly disgusting and completely inappropriate." The Secret Service says it's investigating, tweeting in part, "Threats made against Secret Service protectees receive the highest priority."
In a statement, Mrs. Trump said, and I'm quoting here, "As a mother, a wife, and a human being, that photo is very disturbing when you consider some of the atrocities happening in the world today. A photo opportunity like this is simply wrong. It makes you wonder about the mental health of the person who did it." The photo has sparked outrage since its release, and now CNN has officially decided not to have Griffin back to co-host this year's New Year's Eve show with Anderson Cooper.
So, once again, here you have it. There's Donald Trump, and there's Kathy Griffin. They're arm in arm. And of course, you see the smile, but you see it in the eyes. Everybody in this picture is happy. I mean, genuinely happy. When nothing changes, nothing changes. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But they've been fooling us for so long that the shame on me is just a moot point. All right. In that little clip, which was put out, Soldier of God, put the clips together, and I grabbed it from their channel for reason and meaning and purpose. But let's first show you this. Several different outlets of media, that's all they're covering. You're not hearing about what happened in Syria today. You're not hearing about the Russian special forces that are now moving to confront the U.S. coalition in southern Syria. You didn't know about that? Well, you might want to do a little research because that's actually happening. The Iranian forces that have been moved in to Syria. Oh, didn't know about that? Oh yeah, they're conjoining with the Russian special forces. They're getting ready to face off. You didn't know about the new missile system that they put into Eastern Europe along the Russian border, and the Russians that are moving forces in, that's been happening the past week, and how it's bolstering up big time, especially today. Well, of course you didn't hear about it. You've been so infatuated with Kathy Griffin holding up Donald Trump's head that it's just like, oh my God, and your whole world's surrounded on what's going on in our little piece of the world. You didn't know about the missile systems that North Korea is just about completed, which I got questions on that, because they've already stated that they fired off missiles. They had a missile that put a satellite into space, low Earth orbit, that is over the United States. And I'm like, well, if they've already got a missile that can carry a satellite into space that they suspect has nuclear weapons that's sitting over the United States, and we keep hearing about them firing off a missile that gets 400 or 500 kilometers before it falls into the Japanese Ocean, I'm going, none of this is adding up. But I'm digressing, as in the words that Richie from Boston says, I digress. But all these world events are happening, but no one's paying attention. Now, the reason why I use Soldier of God's piece is because I got problems with what that channel's doing. Like I said, for a long time, they were bringing out world events and showing how they fit with prophecy. But when Donald Trump got elected, it seems like this channel has been like jumped on board with Donald Trump's going to save America. And everything they do, no matter what that channel does, is always about how wonderful, how awesome, how beautiful, how great, how fantastic Donald Trump is. And anyone that criticizes it is evil and is of Satan. My point is this. Question authority. Because if they're not scripturally adherent than there are of Satan. And for you to think this nation right now, excuse me, is scripturally adherent, man, you need to bang your head on your desk hard to wake up. Because this nation is an apostate nation. I live here. And I wish it was better. But when I look at what's going on with the transgender, the homosexuality, the abortion, you know what? This nation, under adultery and fornication, is just unbelievably an abomination before God. I mean, think about it. But you know what? We'll put some stuff on your TV. We'll show you a comedian holding up a head of the president, and we'll get your attention focused on that. We'll get your attention off Christ. We'll get your attention off the last days. We'll get your attention back on how this man's going to make your life great again. You know, this video has gone on a little bit longer than I wanted, so I'm not going to put in the altar call that I normally do with most of my videos. But you need to wake up, people. These are the last of the last days, and they're using everything they can to get your attention off of Christ and get your attention onto other things. And this is exactly what's happening. This comedian, she did what she was told to do. She wasn't happy about it, but that's the price she had to pay. Because for her to get as far as she did, she had to make the arrangements and the agreements. She had to go along with the Freemasons, the Illuminati. She had to go along with the New World Order. She got all her money, and when they said, we need you to do this, she did it. And it played right in. And now every one of you, you're all focused in on that and not what's actually being prophetically fulfilled around the world and not on Christ. Wake up, people. Even if you're not a Christian, look at what's going on. I'm telling you, hey, if you're not a Christian, maybe you might want to open up a Bible, you know, and do some reading. But still, look at how you're being played. Man, what a con job. Folks, you need to quit. Fake news is like everything now. We're trying to wake you up. Where this is going, well, I have a good idea because, well, it fits prophecy to a T. You know, I know where this is going. I know not when it's going to happen, what's going to happen. When and what are two different words. But I'm telling you, look at what this was all about at face value. Look at what's going on in the world and research what happened today, what happened yesterday, and what's going to happen tomorrow when it gets here. And you're going to see they're just playing you to get your mind and your head looking in a different direction. It's like football, you know. quarterback hikes the ball and he goes to hand it off, but he doesn't hand it off. And then he reaches up and he throws the ball, but there's no ball in his hand because there was another handoff that you didn't see, that the camera didn't catch, and they scored a touchdown. It's deception, and they're playing it tough. Need you to wake up, people. Need you to take a look and realize these are the last of the last of the last days. I'll pray for you all, man. And in the meantime, if the world don't end, I hope you have a wonderful and great day tomorrow. Peace and shalom. On second thought, here's the altar call.
I just let go, and I feel exposed, but it's so beautiful, 'cause this is who I am.